Hello Prealgebra students, this is lesson 23. Our objective for today is how do you multiply and divide mixed numbers? And the answer to that is pretty much exactly like we multiply and divide fractions, except we have to first convert them into fractions. So let's see if we can figure some of these out and do a few examples. Hopefully you'll be able to understand and be able to do this completely on your own by the end of this lesson. So I'm actually going through the practice set here. So feel free to follow along from the book if you can't read my awesome handwriting. What is the area of a rectangle 2.5 inches long by 1.5 inches wide? It's just like a picture of that. Here's a rectangle. One of them is 2.5 inches and the other one is 1.5 inches. If I want to find the area, I just need to multiply the base times the height. So what I'm trying to do is multiply 2 1/2 times 1 1/2. So let's see if we can convert each of these mixed numbers into what we call an improper fraction, where the number on top is bigger. So remember, to do that, we're going to multiply this times this, or 2 times 2 in this case, and then we're going to add the numerator. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is going to give me 5, and keep the same denominator, 2, multiplied by, same thing here, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, so 3 over 2. And then multiply. 5 times 3 is 15, 2 times 2 is 4. So let's convert that back into a mixed number. 4 goes into that, 3 times? 3 with 3 left over, 3 3/4. And my units measured would be inches squared because I'm talking about area. So 3 3/4 inches of a square. Okay. Number B. A recipe calls for 1 3/4 cups of milk. How many cups of milk are needed if the recipe is doubled? First of all, remember, doubled means to multiply it by 2. So we originally have this 1 3/4. And I'm going to multiply it by 2, and that will tell me how much milk I'll need for the doubled recipe. So again, same idea, I just need to change this mixed number into an improper fraction. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 1, which is 4, and I'm going to add 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be 7 over 4 times 2, I'm just going to say 2 over 1 so I don't get confused there, because 2 divided by 1 is still the same thing as 2. I'm going to go ahead and reduce before I multiply. 2 goes into 2 one time, and it goes into 4 2 times. So as I multiply across, 7 times 1 is 7, and 2 times 1 is 2. Back into a mixed number. It's going to be 3 1/2 cups. 3 1/2 cups are going to be needed for the doubled recipe. Problem C is a little bit longer. It says a tile setter is covering a 5 foot by 5 foot square shower wall. Each tile covers 4 5/8 inches by 4 5/8 inches in a square. Do these two things. How many rows of tile are needed to reach 5 feet, and then how many tiles are needed to cover the wall? So he's kind of measuring out to make sure that he starts each row and keeps them level, so he needs to know how many rows there are. And then of course he also needs to know how many tiles he needs to buy from the store in order to be able to complete his project. So let's just do a quick sketch here. This is 5 feet square, right? So this is square, so this is by 5 feet as well. It's 5 feet by 5 feet, and we're just wondering how many of these rows of tiles are we going to put across here whenever each one of these is 4 5/8 inches tall. So what I'm trying to think is, I'm just trying to say 4 5/8 times some number, call it R, to equal to 5 feet. Now, notice this over here on the left is in inches, and this is in feet. So let's convert real quick 5 feet. 5 feet times 12 will be 60 inches. So this over here is equal to 60. So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to say 60 divided by 4 and 5/8. Let's go ahead and convert these into improper fractions where the top is bigger. So this is going to be 60 over 1 divided by 8 times 4 is 32. It's going to be 30 plus 5 more is 37 over 8. And then since I'm dividing, I can say 60 over 1 times 8 over 37, which gives me 480 divided by 37. And whenever you divide that out on a calculator, you get something approximately equal to 12.972973. Now, obviously, I can't do, well, obviously I have to cut one of those rows, but we'll have about 13 rows. So my answer for that is about 13 rows. Alright, so if there's going to be 13 rows tall, right here there's 13, that means since it's a square, I'm also going to have 13 rows over here. So 13 times 13 is 169, so I'm going to have 169 of these tiles covering the wall. So how many tiles will I need? 169 tiles. Alright, down here at the bottom it says write the reciprocal of these. Some of them aren't too bad, like let's look at E. The reciprocal is just where you flip it over, right? So reciprocal is going to be 6 over 5. We can do that. And F, we know this is 5 over 1, so reciprocal of that is going to be 1/5. D is actually a little bit trickier because we have to first convert that into a fraction and then find the reciprocal. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is going to be 8 over 3. So this is equal to 8 over 3. So the reciprocal of 8 over 3 is going to be 3/8. Alright, and then these are just a few practice problems here. So simplify, what we're going to do is we're going to convert these into improper fractions and then multiply. So 3 over 2 times 5 over 3. Those 3's will reduce. So it's going to be 5 over 2, which is going to be 2 1/2. Converting these, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5, so 5 over 2 times 5 over 2, 5 times 5 is 25, 2 times 2 is 4, that's going to give me 6 with 1 left over, 6 1/4. These, same idea, but just watch out, because remember these are division problems, so we're going to make sure and multiply by the reciprocal. So 3 over 2 divided by 8 over 3 is going to be the same thing as 3 over 2 times 3 over 8, which is going to give me 9 over 16. This next one is going to be 3 times 2, which is 6 plus 2, 7, 8. So 8 over 3 divided by 2, 3, 3 over 2. It's going to be 8 over 3 times 2 over 3. 8 times 8 is 16 over 9. And then it goes into that one time, leaving 7 as a remainder. So 1 7/9. Your homework is on the board. I know you're going to do great. Feel free to watch this again if you need. Good luck.